Hi, I'm Dana, and today I really want to talk about my autistic headcanons because number one, I think it's fun. I've been a nerd for a very long time and I love hearing about people's headcanons. And number two is a little bit deeper, which is that obviously there's a lot of talk about diversity within media and in TV shows and in movies and so on. And I know that a lot of people are like, ugh, snowflakes, but I think that diversity is great and absolutely vital in media that we consume. You know, I think it not only provides like confidence and acceptance of the people that are being shown, but it also teaches people that are watching it, and especially children that might watch things, like, there's other people out there that aren't like you. There's other people out there that are very, very different to you and they're fine too, and you can still like them and relate to them and blah, 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 blah. So I think that diversity is absolutely essential in TV and in media in general. And I think it's lacking in many an area. And one of those areas is in neurodivergent characters, you know? We are seeing more of them, maybe not enough still, because a lot of people are neurodivergent, and we would be seeing a lot more neurodivergent people in media if it was accurately representing real life, which obviously media doesn't always have to do. But I think it should a little bit more when they're aiming for realism. So here's my autistic headcanons, because I don't think that there's enough outspokenly stated to be autistic or other neurodivergencies in characters in media. However, I'm autistic and I don't feel like it's cool of me to be picking up on, like, saying like, oh, this character's ADHD because they've got these traits, and it's like, well, I don't have those traits because I don't have ADHD. So I'm sticking to the autistic characters because I understand that more, because I'm autistic. I feel like the first one that I need to talk about is Abed in Community, but I don't want to linger on him for too long. I only want to mention him because he was the first character I ever saw in television that was me. You know, it was insane to me watching Community for the first time. I watched it during lockdown and it absolutely blew my mind, because Abed has so many little traits and little things that he does, and the dude watches the same TV show that I'm obsessed with, okay? Like, the whole Inspector Spacetime, I felt personally attacked by the character of Abed, and I think, you know, that really does go to show how important diversity is, to learn that you can relate to other people, because Abed's character is a very different type of person to me. But the autistic traits were still there, which meant that I was like, I'm in love with this man. I want to protect him at all costs. I would do anything for him. However, like I say, I only want to touch on him because I feel like the person we don't talk about enough in Community is Frankie. I know we only got her for like 1 season, 2 seasons. It's been a while since I watched Community, but we didn't get her for very long. But I think that she's one of the most clearly autistic female characters I have ever seen in anything. It's not as outspoken as Abed, because like autism in women does tend to be a little bit more subdued due to the way we're raised. I don't think the autism's different. We have different lives, you know? But there's so much I see in Frankie in the way that she tries consistently to control everything. She knows how the right way to do things is. You know, she has this very clear idea of things need to be like X, Y, Z. It needs to be organised like this. This is the right way to do things. Why are you not doing it? Why do you not understand? It's so obvious. It was a very, like, I just immediately was like, yo, Frankie's autistic. Like, she's just like popping out of conversations when she's had enough. She clearly doesn't know what the fuck to say to anyone at any point. Like, if Frankie was a nerd, I would relate to her harder than I do to Abed, which is really saying something, because like I say, Abed's the #1 most relatable character on television to me. But she is like, the things that she likes and the hobbies that she has do not align with me, but a lot of other things about how she behaves is how I would behave if I wasn't constantly anxious about being like rude or offending people. So I really, really love Frankie. And you know, I've just realised I've got a lot of women on my little list. So I think we're going to carry on going with the gals and talk about Daria next, okay? Because I had like 5 years where I was just trying to like pretend it was the 90s. We've moved on to the 80s now, but for a while it was the 90s. So I watched all of Daria, like, I've probably watched it through at least like 7 times by now, maybe more. I've watched Daria a lot. And again, she's an incredibly relatable character to me. And I think it's because of the like sort of vague autistic traits that are there. You know, she's not very clearly autistic, but after I'd watched it enough, I was like, yo, like, there's autism here. You know, she very clearly has like the flat effect. There's no facial expressions to Daria. She does not have any sort of like vocal inflection. And she speaks exactly how I do when I'm trying not to go into like shutdown or like when I'm really overwhelmed. Just that complete monotone, there is nothing inside kind of voice. Yeah, Daria. She also uses sarcasm but doesn't always understand sarcasm, which is a massive one for me. Like, people think that they can use like extreme sarcasm on me because I get a bit sarcastic sometimes and it goes straight over my head. Like, I know how sarcasm works, I can do it, but I don't know when other people are being sarcastic. And Daria, there's so many moments in Daria where she's exactly the same. And there's also so many moments when people say things to her that she clearly wasn't expecting and she's just like, and then launches into like something to say because she's clearly just like, oh, this wasn't part of my script. And there's even, I'm sure I remember even an episode or two where her and Jane talk about what they're going to say when they see certain people. Like, I'm forever having conversations with people in my life being like, oh, well, when I do this and see this person, what should I say? What should I talk about? I'll say this. What do you think they'll say in reply? You know, all of that. That's what they did. And I was like, yo, Daria, autistic. And keeping it with cartoons, Tina Belcher. The whole Belcher family in Bob's Burgers is absolutely neurodivergent. Not a single one of them is neurotypical. I was going to say maybe Bob, but like the dudes out here like talking to food. Not a single person in that family is neurotypical. But Tina especially, oh, I love her. I love her. Like the awkwardness of like figuring out like... God, I don't even want to say it. There's just... Tina humiliates me as a person. Because that's who I was as a 12-year-old. I was out here writing my fan fictions in my little notebooks too. Didn't do it about real people. I've got that going for me at least. The fucking noise she makes. You know when Tina's like had an awkward situation or whatever and she does like, that little like vocal fry. I realised that that's literally when I'm walking away from like a really awkward social interaction with someone and I'm like not around people. That's what I do without even noticing. I'm just like... And the first time I realised I am Tina Belcher, I really wasn't impressed. And then I watched more Bob's Burgers and I was like, oh, Tina. You know, she's trying her best. I don't want to go super in detail with Tina because if you've watched a single episode of Bob's Burgers, I think it's just immediately obvious. I don't think you need me to explain it. You might need me to explain the first man on my list though, which is Silent Bob. I'm just now considering that the media that I watch might be a little bit obscure and does anyone know who all of these characters are? Is anyone on the same page as me? But anyway, Jay and Silent Bob, one of my favourite duos ever. I think Kevin Smith's a genius. I've got an info dump video about Kevin Smith that I'll link here if you want to hear more about Jay and Silent Bob. But Silent Bob I massively have as a headcanon autistic character because he's Silent Bob. The dude only speaks when he like really has something to say. You know, my little baby non-verbal Silent Bob that just forces himself to speak when he really has something to say. He just follows Jay around and he clearly is like sort of the mastermind behind the operation. He's clearly the mastermind behind the operation, Jay isn't, but he doesn't have like the confidence or the leadership to show that he's the one with the brains in the relationship. They hetero life partners, they're doing it for themselves. But yeah, the way that Silent Bob just chills out, smokes weed and only speaks when he has to, I relate. You know, he's clearly lacking some social skills. He clearly does not give a fuck what people think about him or if people find him weird or whatever else. He just living his Silent Bob life and I have him as a headcanon autistic character, even though I do not for a moment think that's what Kevin Smith was going for. I don't think he's trying to play him as an autistic character. I don't think he's written him as an autistic character. It's just how he comes across to me. And the final man of the list before we go back to women is Fox Mulder. It's again one that I'd feel like I shouldn't need to explain, but also the X-Files is like from like 20, 30 years ago. The X-Files is old and I'm gonna assume a bunch of you haven't watched it in depth because it's fucking long and it's not that good. I'm sorry, I love it. I love the X-Files. I have an X-Files tattoo, but it's an acquired flavour. But Fox Mulder is an autistic little motherfucker. This dude's sister got abducted by aliens when he was like 10. And that's become his special interest. His entire special interest caters around aliens to the point that the dude's become a fucking FBI agent and started like his own fucking department of the X-Files in order to try and find aliens. you know, and you can pretend it's like, oh, but he wants his sister back. And it's like, dude, he can't even remember how she got abducted. Like, we get shown 3 different ways that she got abducted. He finds her in like 4 different situations. You know, like, Fox Mulder did not give 2 shits about Samantha. Fox Mulder cared about aliens and aliens only. A little bit about Dana, but mostly cared about aliens. That was his special interest. He had no social skills when it came to anyone except Dana, who clearly just finds him sort of endearing and not particularly charming because he isn't. His social skills are lacking to the point that his nickname in university was Spooky Mulder, and the dude works in a basement on his own looking for aliens. Autism. Back to women though. Again, I think limited explanations needed for Luna Lovegood. She's, no offence to her, a freak. I was often called a freak in high school and often compared to Luna Lovegood in certain ways. Not the nice ways. No one's ever like, oh my god, you're so pretty like Luna. You're so like quirky like Luna. It was like, god, you're a weirdo. You're like fucking Luna Lovegood, you know? Like, it wasn't nice comparisons. But I think people were picking up that I've got some autistic traits. If she had some autistic traits, they linked it up. You know, this unwavering belief in something that no one else believes in because someone you trust told you it exists. Autism. The way she dresses is like so pleasing aesthetically in like, not just an aesthetic way, but also like a sensory way. It's all like shiny, it's patterned, and I've got a video about why I dress the way that I do, which is quite Luna Lovegood-esque in some ways, I suppose. I'll link it up here. But I think I dress the way I do because I'm autistic, and I think Luna Lovegood dressed the way that she did because she was autistic. But also the way people are rude to her straight to her face and she doesn't pick up on it. Not something I've personally experienced as an autistic trait, but I know several other people who are definitely autistic that have had people like straight up bully them essentially and not realised until later on. And that's definitely what's going on with Luna. Luna got to like 23 and she was like, wait, were people in Hogwarts mean to me? For real, like, poor girl. And my final official headcanon that I want on the list is Dana from The L Word. I'm only 2 seasons into The L Word, so do not give me any spoilers. I will go absolutely apeshit. But Dana, not just because she shares my name, is a fucking icon. And she is also autistic as shit. The girl does not fucking understand how to do social things in the slightest. She ignored her girlfriend telling her she loves her twice before just waiting for the right moment to be like, I love you, as though she had never said it. She misses so many jokes in that friendship group. And also, she's the one that so often starts like sort of being a little rude and having a little go at people because she's misunderstood the situation. Which is why I no longer confront anyone about anything because I'm scared I've misread the situation. So even someone being a genuine asshole to me, I'm like, maybe they're not though. But Dana hasn't gotten there yet. Dana in The L Word hasn't gotten there yet. And she's still like going off at people and then be like, oh, it wasn't even about that, sorry. And she also massively tries to people please, which I know isn't like specifically, I don't think is specifically an autistic trait. But I think that a lot of us do end up being massive people pleasers because so often we don't know what we're supposed to do to make other people like us or to make other people happy or to make whatever situation we're in nice and comfortable. So at least for me, it's become very much a case of like, I will do whatever I can to please someone because they will be nice to me and they will pretend to like me. And that's 100% what Dana does in The L Word. So I vibe with the bitch. I love her with my whole ass heart. And yeah, can't wait to watch more of The L Word. So that was the end of my official list because I don't think it's right or necessarily a good thing, more so than being right, to debate if real people are autistic. I just think it's a little bit dodgy and I didn't want to include anyone on like an official list of like, I think these people are autistic because I'm not a doctor, I can't diagnose a real life person. However, I do want to mention that right now I'm in an absolute obsession with Alanis Morissette. Like, she is my one special interest at the minute. I don't really particularly give a shit about anything that doesn't relate back to Alanis Morissette in some way. And having now watched God knows how many hours of interviews and live shows and everything else with her, I don't think that Alanis Morissette is neurotypical. And like I say, I'm not a doctor, I don't want to diagnose her, but I massively relate to so much of what she says in interviews and lyrics, and even some of the ways that she behaves on stage look a little bit like stims in some videos. I'm like, is the gal stimming? And yeah, I will not diagnose anyone ever because I don't know shit. But in my humble little opinion, as an autistic person, I relate a little too much to Alanis Morissette for her to be neurotypical. I just wanted to throw it in because I think that a lot of you that follow me, like, at least a lot of you that comment, are women that, like, are clearly into the same stuff as me and that, like, relate to me and I relate to you, and it's a good time and it's exactly what I'm looking for. So I just wanted to throw in that I think Alanis Morissette's really relatable. So if you relate to me, I had a moment where I was like, am I comparing myself to Alanis Morissette here? Because if I am, I'm not coming out on top, but I wasn't. I'm just saying that if you find me relatable, chances are you'll also relate to Alanis Morissette if you're like me. But I have been talking for a lot longer than I normally do in a video. This might be a long one, sorry if it is. No, I'm not. Have a long video. I'm making content, I'm enjoying it, and if you've watched it this far, then you are too, so you're welcome. If you'd like to subscribe to me, you can follow me anywhere. There's links down below of every video. I hate asking people to follow me because I think that if you wanted to, you would have followed me. But if you forgot, there you go. It'd be really nice if you gave my video a little thumbs up. I don't know why I'm taking so long to promote a video and it makes me so uncomfortable, so I am actually going to go now. So whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you have a lovely morning, evening, afternoon, day, week, month, year, and I'll see you again in a few days.